Hello again, everyone. This is Mark, and I am going to show you a little bit more about the program that I spend my hobby hours working on and playing with. I put some videos out showing, how it works and also some of the things that I do with it, replaying seasons and things like that, and get some views, and I even get some suggestions, which I like the most because that means other people think this is worth a few minutes of their time to watch or to even download and try out. So I have made a few updates, and this video is just going to demonstrate how the updates look and work, and I'll play a game in the process of doing that. But I got some suggestions from Mike on the SI Sports Illustrated Baseball Facebook page, that page is very cool, by the way. If you like Sports Illustrated Baseball, and if you're not on that, you should look it up and join the group. So I got a comment from somebody there on one of my videos from an unnamed user ID kind of person who said um, they would like to be able to push the enter key and as well as the space bar to swing away. So that was an easy fix. And then Mike from our SI group had a few suggestions, and I was able to do a couple of them. One, he wanted to see the 10 through 39 markers on the field where you can see the pitcher and the batter lines during the game. So I added that, and I also um, fixed up the how I indicate where on those lines that the dice roll shows up, so you can kind of pops out a little bit better, not perfectly, but a little bit better. And he also said, well, it'd be nice if he could play if when he's playing a full season of his selected team, if he could play some of the other games too. So I figured out a way to make that happen. Somebody suggested, can you delete a play and move back and replay it in the middle of a game? And the way I wrote the program, that'd be really hard to do. So I'm not going to be able to do that one unless I change a whole bunch of stuff around. And I don't have the time to re-architect how this works. So I will demonstrate how the few things work that I've recently added. So I'll go ahead and pick 1972. Got to go to the program first, 1972, and I will start a full season replay so that I can show you how I did it so that you can play more than just your team's game. So I'll say I want to play a full season, a complete season. I'll pick the New York Yankees because I know their game's not first in the schedule, so there'll be some other games too. So here's the first thing that happens. The screen comes up and says, "Do you want to manage more games than just your New York Yankees team games?" And that was the suggestion. Somebody would like to do that. Mike would like to do that. So I'll say yes to that. It also says if you say yes to that, you're going to be able to look at the box scores of each game as they play. If you say no to this, you just play your own teams, and all you see is the final score, runs, hits, and errors, winning pitcher, loser pitcher for every game that's not your team's game. So I'll say yes to this. So then it'll say this before every game now. It says next game is Texas Rangers versus California Angels. It says, do you want to have it played automatically? Do you want to manage the Texas team? Do you want to manage California? Or do you want to manage both teams? So you just hit 0, 1, or 2, or 3 to do that. I will say I want to manage California Angels. So I hit that. And then my game comes up, just like if I was playing my own New York Yankees team that I picked in this demonstration. So I'm the manager of the Angels, and this is their first game. This is actually the first game of 1972 schedule, and these are the as played lineups and starting pitchers. So here's opening day. It was played in California, Texas, and Washington. Or actually, Texas visited them. That's Dick Bosman's on Texas, but the year before they were Washington, so he still got his Washington hat on. So there's the starting pitchers. Here's Texas's starting lineup. Here is my California Angels starting lineup, who I'm managing. And then this is something I added in the last time that I demonstrated. Now you can see and hear the dice roll, or you can only see them, or you can't see or hear them. That's invisible dice roll. Or somebody asked, well, how about rolling your own physical dice and entering the number in my game, and then it plays it that way. And I added that as a feature, which I wish I would have added years ago because that's fine for people to roll their dice and enter the numbers, but the unexpected, fantastic benefit for me is when I'm writing the program and testing it out, I pick that mode, and then I can make it go exactly where I want to go. Say I'm testing out manager decision on a F with parentheses and a runner on first and third. I can put a runner on first and third. Then I can make the batter do parentheses F. Then I can pick manager's decision, and I can pick where on the manager's decision bar it goes because there's 6 different things can happen, and I can test it out, make sure my game works. So that was very cool. But I will not do that here. I will do see and hear dice. So here's the game. This is the New York Yankees season replay, but I said that I wanted to play this game for some reason, and I wanted to manage California, so my game lets you do that now. Also, if you hit the help key, you can now see that spacebar or enter is swing away. So I can hit the spacebar, and it'll say it rolls for the pitcher, and that's a D, and the 15D is not an automatic out for California with this lineup. So this is another thing I added. Instead of just hitting a key and knowing you got to hit the key to hit the batters, get the batter dice roll, it now tells you. So it says press any key for batter dice roll. You can see the yellow box with the 15 on Andy Messersmith's line. You can see the 10 through 39, which I added, so you can see 15 is right there above the 15. Now I'll roll the dice for Lenny Randle, and Lenny rolls a 33, and you can see that it's highlighted with a yellow box there, and it's a G, which means ground out. So Lenny Randle is out. Dave Nelson comes up. There's the pitcher's pitch, and it is a 14, which is not an automatic out. After this batter, I'll look at my defense and see what my automatic outs are because I forgot. It does tell you in the beginning of the game, but I didn't pay attention. So there's a 28 strikeout. So I'm going to look at my defense. I hit D. There's my defense. I could add them all up myself, except the pitcher's not there, and then look at the Sports Illustrated table, or I could just hit yes as if I want to make a change, and then it adds them up for me, and it's a 22 total, and that means defensive out is 13. I will not make any changes right now, so I will know that when Andy Messersmith rolls a 13, it's an automatic out. Here's Andy Messersmith's roll. It's a 31. It's a K, and I'm sure that if you play this game, you know that a K means it's going to be a strikeout unless Don Mincher gets a hit. So let's roll for Don Mincher. Oh, he got a hit, so it's not a strikeout. He rolled a 17, and you can see that right below the number 17 is his line against a righty pitcher, and it's a double. So Mincher's on second with 2 outs. 27 is nothing, and then a 35 for Hal King is a strikeout. So they go down quietly. I'll play this relatively quickly. 24 for Bosman. You can see Bosman's on the mound now. There's Alomar's line against the righty. Here's Mickey Rivers. 26 for the pitcher. He gets a single. He's a 2-runner, Mickey Rivers. Everyone remembers Mickey Rivers from the Yankees, but he was on the Angels before that, and he was on the Texas Rangers at some point because you can see his picture has Texas hat on. So I'll say steal for Mickey Rivers, and up pops the steal chart for the 2-runner, and it rolls the dice. So it rolls a 31, and you can see that there is a green box with an E in it, which means batter steals the base. All runners advance an extra base on an error. So let's see if my program works, and it does. He's over on third base, and there's an error on Texas. So Rivers steals second, goes to third on the error. And there's a pitcher's X, so that's kind of cool that came up. 38 is a pitcher's X. So see, when I changed the boxes to yellow, it didn't look very good when it was a yellow box around a yellow box. So if there's a yellow box like a bunt, or like a strike, like a walk, or a pitcher's X, or a wild pitch, or something like this yellow, then I make a black box. And you'll see it's a black box when I roll the dice for the pitcher's X. I roll a 22, and it gets highlighted with a black box over there on the left, and it's a wild pitch, and Rivers scores. So got a single, stolen base, an error, and then a wild pitch. So Rivers comes home. My Cardinals are ahead by 1. 2 outs. There's a 23 for the pitcher, and a 23 for Spencer, and he's out. There we go, Messersmith. 32 is another K. The K doesn't help because Frank Howard rolled an 11, hit a home run. So he ties it up 1-1. There's another K, and this time it is a K. He rolled the 36 and it's a ground out, but since I had a K, then it's a strikeout. After this game, I will be able to show you how in this mode, when you say you want to play some of the games yourself other than the one team that you're playing for, how that shows you the additional information on all the games. But I got to get through this game first to be able to do that. So 37 is a nothing from Bosman. There's a single. We got a little bit of a rally going here. We've got one out, first and third. Jeff Torberg comes up. There's a 23 from Bosman. The 10 is a double, two-runner score. So Angels go ahead by 2. You can see Bosman's line up there. He's not a great pitcher. He's got a couple of walks, and he even gives up a single on 25. And he's got one little K there on 18. 29 is nothing. Messersmith comes up. I should have bunted with Messersmith. What am I thinking? 2 outs. Sandy Alomar. Look at that funny picture of Sandy Alomar. This is the best picture I could find of Sandy Alomar. You can find a lot of his son Robbie Alomar, but not, and Sandy Alomar Jr., but not Sandy Alomar Sr., who this player is. 17 is a nothing. Then Randall flies out. Messersmith is doing good other than that home run by Frank Howard. Here comes Don Mincher. 26. Mincher went on to play for the Oakland Athletics, I think, in one of their World Series. Jim Spencer. 31 is nothing from Bosman. Spencer grounds out. And here comes Ken McMullen, the third baseman. 37. And there's a fly out. So here we go, top of the fourth. Hal King, the catcher. 34 is nothing. 34 is a strikeout for Hal King. Here comes Frank Howard again. There's a nothing pitch. Let's see if Frank can hit another home run. 11's not that good for Frank Howard. He must hit a lot of home runs against lefties. I'll put a lefty in and we'll see what he looks like against lefties. Because Frank Howard hits a lot of home runs, and one home run on 11 is not that great. 35 and 22. Veda Pinson's on. Got one out. Here comes Leroy Stanton. Leroy grounds out and he moves up to second. Here comes Jeff Torberg. Torberg got a hit and some RBIs the last time he was up. Got a double. There's another RBI. You can see the stats that shown here are the stats in this season that I'm playing right now, not the real life stats, of course, because as you can see, Sandy Alomar has 0 home runs and 1 RBI. He's batting .500 so far. And now he's batting less than .500 because he flew out. Here's Joe Levito. Joe Levito gets walked by Messersmith. The 23 is a walk. So Levito goes to first. Toby Hare comes up, who's batting 1,000. Not anymore. He grounds out into a force out. There's Hare at first base. He's a 2-runner. Pretty fast. Let's see what Dick Bosman does. 1 out. Bosman strikes out. Lenny Randall with 2 outs. Lenny strikes out on the 26. Here we go, bottom of the 5th. We're working our way through. Let's see if Rivers can get on again. He cannot. He grounds out. Leo Cardenas. There's a 34 is nothing, and a strikeout on 24 for Leo. Here comes Jim Spencer. Spencer rolls a 22 and gets a single. That's his first hit of the game. Ken McMullen. 20 is nothing, and a 33 is a pop-out. And here we go, top of the 6th. As you can see, they're playing in the California Angels Stadium before they built their nice new one. Mincher rolls a 38 and strikes out. Got 2 down. There's a 34 and another strikeout. Messersmith's doing pretty good. Bosman gets him to ground out. Leroy Stanton comes up. Stanton rolls a 35, strikes out. Jeff Torborg. Torborg singles. Now let's pinch hit. So I hit P for pinch hitter. There's my bench. If this was an automatic game, the computer manager would pick out the batter of these batters that's best against a right-handed pitcher in the game. So it figures out what the batting average of all those batters are against a right-handed pitcher and then picks out the highest one. I can't figure all that out in my head just by looking at the colors, but I will pick Bob Oliver because he's got a couple home runs. There's Bob Oliver. Bosman rolls a 27 and walks him. He must have been afraid of Bob Oliver, the pinch hitter. Here comes Sandy Alomar. 13 wasn't the automatic out, luckily. 36 is a ground out. So that's the end of the inning. I said I'd put a lefty in, and I will. Steve Barber. Got two lefties, Rudy May, a starter and a reliever, and Steve Barber, mostly a reliever, I think. So here's Frank Howard. We can see what he looks like against a lefty. He's a little better. He's got a home run on 15 and 16. He must not have hit too many home runs in 1972. He did get traded to the Tigers in 72. I do remember that because they made the playoffs, and he was on the team at the end of the year. There's 2 outs. Comes Joe Levito. And Levito bloops a single on there by rolling a 16. You can see Steve Barber's line is not too good. He's got a couple walks and a K. He looks a lot like Dick Osman. 33 is nothing. There's a single, first and second. I'm sure he's going to pinch hit for Manager Ted Williams of the Texas Rangers will pinch hit for Bosman, and he picked Dick Billings, who must have the best batting average on the bench against the lefty. He's got some green. He got 37, 38, a 26, 21, 22. Texas is not that great, so he's probably the best to have. No offense to Texas Ranger fans out there. There's a 26, so they got the bases loaded with Lenny Randle coming up. 23 is nothing. Let's see what Lenny Randle. He flies out. That's the third out, so we can't even see if we want to. There's Paul Lindblad coming out of the bullpen. Lindblad rolls a 22, and Mickey Rivers rolls a strikeout pitch, a 36. Here comes Leo Cardenas. 37 is nothing from Lindblad. He hits a fly out, and Jim Spencer comes up, lefty on lefty, 34. Spencer's not too good against lefties. Look at his line there. He doesn't have any hits past 23. Dave Nelson. Barber walks Dave Nelson. This is the top of the 8th. Here's a pitcher's X, rolled a 38, so we got to roll again. And it's a wild pitch, so Nelson, who's a 4-runner, is down at second base. 33 is nothing from Barber, and it's a strikeout. Here's Hal King, lefty again. Hal King rolls a 24 and singles, and Nelson scores. So it's now a 5-2 game, and here comes Frank Howard. Frank could make it a 5-4 game if he hits a home run, but he does not. He rolls a 39 and reaches base on an error. Larry Beitner. 15 is nothing. 23 is a ground out. There's 2 outs. Here comes Joe Levito. 32 is nothing. And 30 is a ground out. So we're almost done with this game. 5-2, bottom of the 8th. Ken McMullen leads off with a strikeout. Stanton comes up next. Stanton rolls a 35 and grounds out. And here comes, well, that wasn't Stanton. It was somebody else. Stanton is up now. Stanton flies out. So there's the end of that inning. Here's the last inning unless they score 3 runs. Toby Harrell leads off with a 34 from Barber. 36 is a pop-out. Here comes Paul Lindblad, the pitcher. He'll be pinch hit for by Ted Williams, so he brings in Elliot Maddox. Barber throws a 34 to Elliott. Elliott rolls a 31 and grounds out. Here's the last out. 19 is nothing from Barber. Lenny Randle's 25 is a pop-out. So that will be the end of the ball game. Final score, California Angels 5, Rangers 2. Messersmith gets the win and Barber gets the save. So here's the box score for the game we just played. Now it asks me, do I want to play one of these teams? I can manage one of the teams or manage both teams. I'll say no. Let it get played automatically, which it just did. Milwaukee beat Cleveland, and because I'm in this mode, it's going to show me the details of this game that was just played automatically. There's Milwaukee hitters. They had 5 hits and 4 runs. Home run by Johnny Briggs and Lahoud and Ollie Brown. So they had 3 home runs to get their 4 runs. Here is what Cleveland did. They had 5 hits and no runs. Parsons with the win. Gaylord Perry with the loss. He was the Cy Young in 1972. Do I want to do this again? I will say no. And it plays it. There's that game. I'll say play it automatically. White Sox beat the Royals. There's the next game. Minnesota at Oakland. I'll let it play it. Minnesota beat the world champion Oakland A's this game. And then it comes up to my first game, New York Yankees. And it says, do I want to play my New York Yankees first game now? Yes or no? I will say no. So now I'll look at the standings, and there's the games that I managed the California Angels in, and the other ones were played automatically. You can see the Yankees have no games. They are probably going to play Baltimore, who also have no games. So that is my demonstration for today of a couple new features that I added to my little program here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will put a new link out there so that you can get at the new file. That's all I changed is the program itself. So there's no new teams or no new seasons or anything like that. So with that, I will say have a good evening.